Hello and welcome to another episode of Mid-Island Custom Diecast. My name is Evan, and today we're doing the 3 blind mice build for the 1970 Monte Carlo. Remember, if you like what you see, to please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications on future videos. So, this is the Monte Carlo we're starting with. This is the first guest host build for the 3 blind mice, and Harlan over at Go Bear's Diecast workshop chose this casting, and we've got some pretty big plans for it. Gonna do a bunch of stuff that I personally have not done before, so stick around and we'll see what we come up with. So here's the casting as we've seen from the previous little clip on the turntable. Metal body, obviously, plastic chrome base. We've already got it drilled apart, so there's the base and the windshield and interior. Interior, big changes for that coming up. We'll talk more about that later. The windshield. And so we're going to do a wheel swap, and you can see there I've got the wheels from Tom at Van City Diecast. These are the Gasser or Dragster set, big fatties on the back, and here I'm just seeing if we're gonna have any problems with fitment. And this is a hood scoop from Benchworks Toys. So now I've got the wheels fitted in there, a rarity for me to do it before I get paint on the body. So yeah, no problem fitting these ones in here, just checking that we got it all good. So with that done, we will move on to the stripper. This is just a strip ring gel that I get at the hardware store here, and it works pretty good on most castings. So we'll set that aside overnight usually and come back to it. So as you can see, I've done quite a bit of work to the interior already off camera. Cut out the seats, the bottom, the steering wheel, and most of the dash. I glued a new dash with some fake gauges. I put a couple of little crappy but workable NOS bottles, and a lone driver seat as you might find in a drag car. I did have to sand away the back, the bottom there, and the back to fit the windshield on. Anyway, this is what we came up with, and no, I didn't put a roll cage in it because the windshield unit in this car is super low, and frankly I just didn't do it. I didn't feel like doing it after that. I did cut the tip of my finger off doing that interior. So here is the drag wing that I put on it. I made it out of styrene with some acrylic nail stuff around the outside, which we'll sand down later. And of course, no dragster will be complete without a wheelie bar. These are just paper clips that I've cut down and bent, and took the pin vise, drilled a few holes in the base, as you can see there, and we're just lining these up, bending them down so that they're close to the ground. As you can see, we've got some stuff going on the wing and the hood, and we'll just fit some crossbars in here on the wheelie bars and glue that all into place. Right, so here are the bars done, top and bottom, and some crosses, little bends on the back so I can fit some little wheels on there. So now that that's done, we can get the base off to the paint booth. And this is just a semi-gloss black from like a Rust-Oleum or some hardware store spray paint. Yeah, just spraying that down, and then we'll go over. You know what I realized now that I'm finished is the wheelie bars on the car I'm trying to replicate were actually black, I think. but I wanted to have a little more contrast with the base than just all black. So here we are giving them a liquid silver paint job. And then I'll take the silver Sharpie as per usual on the details on the base, the chassis. It's a pretty detailed chassis for Hot Wheels. Not disappointed in that. So with all those details, here are the little styrene wheels to go on the wheelie bars. We're going to do them in gloss black. And of course we got to paint some of the details on the interior. I'm showing this now in the video because you really can't see it once I put it together, but I know it's there, and I wanted every one of you to know the work that I put into it as well. So here it is: red seat belts, little silver on the buckle, blue NOS, and silver accents on the dash. So looking pretty good. Now we'll move on to the body. I filled the I guess the air intake grill on the hood with some glazing and spot putty Bondo, and so we're sanding that down so it's nice and smooth, and filled in the middle, actually the whole thing, but this is me sanding down the wing. You'll see in a second it needs quite a bit more work, because I'm not very used to doing this kind of work, but so far so good. Now I've got the grill on the hood filled in. I glued that little hood scoop on, and it wasn't quite long enough to reach where I wanted it on the hood, so I filled it in with epoxy putty. Here you can see what I mean on the wing. I've given it a coat of primer, and that's just not good enough, so we're going to do a little more Bondo on there and fill it all in. So the primer I'm using, I just got this in the mail a couple of weeks ago, is the 2K Black from Splash, and I really love this primer. I love all their paints, frankly, but this is obviously sandable, nice and durable as well, and not had a problem. But of course I'm using a lot of Splash paints too, so anyway, this is how we put the Bondo on. We're just going to put it on with our finger. And once that dries, give it a nice sand again. Another couple of coats of the 2K black primer from Splash. And then we'll move on to the base color paint. So this is the paint I chose, which is called Deep Impact Blue. It says on the bottle to use on a dark base, which is why I used the black primer. And yeah, nothing to report here on the airbrushing. This is the second coat. I didn't film the first coat for some reason, but went on nice and smooth, and really love the color, man. It turned out really great. There it is. So here is after the base coat and all of the details: door handles, headlights, tail lights. I didn't do the window trims because I didn't think that they would be done on a Dragster, and they're probably not. So here it is. I've got the Bright Vision clear coat with the hardener. Now the bottle says ratio of 3:1, and that is what I mixed. But I don't know if you can see it in the cup on the airbrush. It's bubbling and it's not going on great, so I just started spraying the crap out of it. This is the first coat. I emptied it out, mixed it closer to 10 or no, closer to 5 or 6 to 1, or maybe even a little thinner than that for the next coat, and it went on much better, as you will see here. This is all of the pieces and parts, and this is how the clear coat turned out. Man, best clear coat I have ever done by far. So, a little reminder of what we started with: the Fast and Furious 1970 Chevrolet Monte Carlo with the dark tinted windshield, and little picture of sort of the inspiration for the build. And here's where we ended up. So you can see the wheels and tires, the Dragster set from Van City Wheels. I've got the hood on there from Benchworks Toys, the wing on there, and the wheelie bars, which I fabricated myself. And don't ask me about the windshield. At the very last minute, I thought I would try to polish it up a little bit more because it had a couple of minor scratches. And it turned out, well, I mean, I guess it kind of looks more like Lexan. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll go back and fix it. Anyway, I got my own little decal on the license plate, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, thank you all for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, and do leave a comment below to let me know what you think. We'll see you on the next one.